Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm G, aka Underwater Eyeballs, and I'm a cosplayer. And thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of the Out of the Water podcast, where I sit down with cosplayers, artists, creatives, anime enthusiasts, and overall some of my favorite creators and people to pick their brains about the shit they love to do. So joining me today is May, aka Snailboii, who is an artist, anime enthusiast, and content creator. They've been in fandom spaces since around 2013 and began posting skit content to TikTok in 2022. And they've been dabbling in cosplay ever since. So, hi, May. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so
Of course.
excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad. Thank you for taking the time. I know, we both love yapping. So,
We'd love to yap. We'd love to yap when we're playing Mario Kart and,
exactly. Yeah, I had CJ on I think a week ago or two weeks ago, and we were talking about our Mii's.
Yes, the memes.
Yeah, I've got the tallest me of all time, and you have the shortest me of all time.
The way I literally like when they're standing next to each other, I'm like, oh my god, canon height difference, but that's ridiculous, actually.
Yeah.
It's
It's so good. I
crazy.
love our little Aruri guys.
Yes.
Um,
It's so fun.
Yeah. So obviously we've been mutuals for like a hot minute now. But I wanted to ask you, how did you first get into anime? 2013 is a long time to be into this.
I mean, technically, I watched Pokemon as a kid, so like I was kind of
See,
in anime before that, but not really.
you're like
Um, if you consider Pokemon anime, well, I mean, it is anime, but you know what I mean.
yeah, for sure.
Um, but yeah, my best friend at the time, she was really into Fruits Basket, and it was like the original Fruits Basket. And so
Mhm.
we had like a sleepover and we just watched the whole thing, and it's just been downhill from there. Like my first anime was Fruits Basket, then my second was Attack
Yeah.
on Titan. Vibe,
Mhm.
a little bit of a
Yeah.
vibe shift, but
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, both are at similar levels of devastation at times, I feel like,
no, they are. They definitely are.
Yeah. Yeah, the mommy issues are endless in both of those, I feel
Yeah.
like. So what's the difference? Because I haven't seen the original Fruits Basket. So what's the difference between the two of them? I've only seen the new one.
I mean, the animation's different. It definitely looks like an early 2000s anime.
Yeah.
There's some things that the original Fruits Basket is just like the first season, and
Mhm.
there's things that they like put in it that they don't have that wasn't actually in the manga, but like I feel like the newer version follows the manga like a lot more closely. Like the original did too, but
Mhm.
like they had a few things that they kind of added to it. But they also cut out like some of the like goofiness that was in the original Fruits Basket when they made the new one. So
Mhm.
that's kind of devastating, but like it's still there somewhere at least. And it's like they did a really good job with like the remake of it. And it follows
Hell
the
yeah.
manga like really well. So
For sure. Yeah. So did you watch the new one in the sub or the dub? I'm curious.
I watched it in the dub because it's this they use the same voice actors. And since I'd
Oh, okay,
watched
cool.
Yeah, since I've watched the original and dub, is like very nostalgic for me.
Mhm.
But the sub, it has Megami's voice actor is Kyo, and then
Oh,
Gojo's voice actor is Shigure. And so like sometimes
oh
I
my
switch
god.
back and forth because I was like, I want their voices, but
You like
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was gonna say, I think Kyo's voice actor in the dub is Moblit's voice actor in Attack on Titan,
Yes.
which is like
He's also
really weird.
Psyche.
Like yes. Yeah, literally I watched AOT first and then I watched Fruits Basket like maybe a year or two later and I heard Kyo talking and I was like, huh, that kind of sounds familiar. And then on my AOT rewatch, I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a second. That's
I
him.
was like, that's Moblit.
That's
Um, that's why, yeah. So I also wanted to ask you obviously about your TikTok account. I remember the day that you like started blowing up on TikTok. I remember that. And so I wanted to kind of go back to the beginning. What inspired you to first start making skits on TikTok?
Oh, well, okay, so I had gotten back into the Attack on Titan fandom, and I
Mhm.
had been just like watching like TikToks of people, and so like people like Sarah Jams and like Final Liza and like Slimy, like all those people.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is really funny. And then I was like, I had concepts in my head that was like, wait, this would be funny to make. And then I just kind of started making them myself. I watched some of my old skits recently, and I was like, you can tell that like I was like trying to be Eliza, basically. Like it's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
similar style.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Do you remember what your first skit was, like, ever?
It was it was like the rumbling on FaceTime. So
Oh my gosh, wait. Okay. Lay it out for me. What was the skit? I don't know if I've seen that one.
it was like, so you know like how like Aaron like calls everyone like in paths, right? He like talks to all the Eldians.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like he tries to do like a group FaceTime call.
Yeah.
But like since everything is in
Oh my
chaos, there's
god.
like random people, and then like he's like the first part is him like trying to speak, but he's muted. And so Armin and Mika
Aaron,
are
you're
like,
on mute.
"Hey Aaron, you're on mute. Like we can't hear you."
Oh my god, I love that. That is so good.
I still think it's funny. I feel like I should remake it because I feel like I could do a lot better now. But it was really funny.
For sure, yeah. Oh my god. So what's, like, your process for making a skit? Like, do you write it out beforehand, or do you kind of just, like, off the dome
The only time
go
I
for
ever
it?
like write it out is like if I have a concept, I'm like at work or something, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I want to do that. But for the most part, I just kind of like, oh, like this has like one. Usually, it's like, oh, there's like one or two lines that I want to include in it, and then I just kind of sit down and make it. Um,
Yeah.
I used to like go back and re-record with like different kind of hairstyles and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
but then I got lazy, so
Real tea.
I'll like go back and re-record bits if it's like it wasn't as good or like if I wanted to add something else. But yeah, ever since I stopped like changing the hairstyles and stuff, it's taken me so like it doesn't take me as long to make them.
Yeah.
And I also
Yeah.
feel like it flows a lot more naturally because I'm not really
For
a great
sure.
actor, so
You're like, "I'm just here having a good time."
I'm just here to have a good time, and I can't make it sound like a conversation with myself if I'm recording it in bits. So
For sure, for sure. Well, I love your skits. I've been really enjoying your the Skate the Infinity ones recently.
I love Skate the
'Cause
Infinity.
yes, I love the like Joe and Cherry content. Those
Yeah.
two, I adore them so much.
I feel like I need to make more of them because I usually just do Reki and Laga because like those are my kids, and so like
Mhm.
that's what I make for the
You're
most
like,
part.
those are my sons.
Those are my sons. I love them. But yeah, Skate the Infinity was one that like when I started posting for that, it was like that fandom was kind of dead, and so I
Mhm.
was like not expecting that many people to be in it because like I feel like at this point, like some of my skits that have done the best were like Skate the Infinity skits, which is
Real.
crazy.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh. I feel like the concept of like a dead fandom is so interesting because like as a Yuri on Ice enjoyer,
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
we're never really dead. We're just sleeping, you
Oh, yeah.
know? Like it's just
Yeah.
we're sleeper agents. And then you hear, one peep about Victor or Yuri, and then you're like, oh.
I'm such an I'm such an arcane headspace that you said that you still said Victor, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Victor, I love him. He's everything to me." And then I was like, "We were talking about Yuri on Ice." Like
No, we love our mad scientist Victor though, for
we
sure.
do. No, I definitely feel like Skate the Infinity was like it was like kind of sleeping, but we're like heard, whispers of like the OVA and stuff like that coming out. Um
Mhm.
and so like and then obviously like when it was getting closer and stuff, like the fandom kind of came back a little bit. And I feel like we're still back for a little while, which is good.
Yeah. Until season 2, which I think is coming out.
I looked it up. I don't think the last I don't know. I feel like the last news
Oh.
I saw of it was like a few years ago.
Oh
But
god, okay.
I'm hoping
Oh,
because if
they can't do me like Yuri on Ice, they
they
can't,
they
like,
can't do another Yuri on Ice, I will lose it.
I literally cannot take it. Like, the way that oh my god, that goddamn movie, Ice Adolescence, the way that they, like, dangled that on a carrot
Literally.
for, like, years, and then they were like, we canceled it. Sorry."
It's
I was
so
like
bad.
I remember where I was when I found out. I was at the Renaissance Festival and my friend was like, "Gee, I have something like I have to tell you." And I was like,
Mhm.
"What?" Like, and I was like, What's going on?" And they were like, "The Yuri on Ice movie got canceled." And I was like, "Don't
No.
talk to me for the rest of the day." Like, I was so upset.
You're like,
Oh my god.
I need to mourn.
Yes. Oh my god. Well, because that was, like, my first, like, anime that really
Mhm.
got me, like, hardcore into anime. Like, because I'd kinda, like, gently been next to it for a while, and obviously, like, when I was a kid, I was watching, like, the Studio Ghibli movies and stuff, which, again, is I think it counts as anime,
Yeah, I think so.
but it also feels a little reductive to call them anime, though, because they're so, like, like, artful and whatever,
Right.
but yeah, and so then I watched Yuri on Ice, in, like, I think, like, 2 sittings, I wanna say, and then, like, from there, I was locked in. I was like, "Yep, this is it." Like, my friend showed it to me, and then she was like, "You should also watch this little niche one called My Hero
Oh my
Academia."
god. This little this niche anime that, I mean, I don't think anyone really knows about it. It's kind of, like, underground, but,
Yeah,
My
it's,
Hero
like,
Academia?
new. Well, because at the time, I think it only had, like, 2 seasons out, I
Oh,
wanna say,
really?
and now there's, like, a million, yeah.
Mm.
So it was I mean, it was not niche, but it was smaller than it is now for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my friend showed me AOT, and now I'm, permanently changed.
And now you're changed forever. I feel that's how the
Mhm.
Attack on
Yeah,
Titan fandom was, like, when I got into it, because I think I was watching it when the second part of the first season was coming out, and so, like,
yeah.
it was
Ooh, crazy.
it was a pretty, like, sizable fandom. I don't know, but it was definitely, like, when I, like, kind of rejoined the fandom, I guess, in, like, 2021, 22. It was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is different. This is a lot of
yeah.
people," and, like, I remember, like, when you'd start to see, like, Attack on Titan merch, like, in stores and stuff here, and I was like, "Wait a minute. Wait a minute, I don't know that one.
Like, hold on.
Hold on."
Yeah, that's wild. So what was the AOT fandom like back in the day? Because obviously I'm only in the post TikTok side of it, which I've heard is quite different.
Yeah. It definitely is. It was, well, like, obviously, like, a slap on Titan was, like, a big thing back then, so that was, like, the
Yeah.
big meme. There's a lot of,
Mhm.
like, dumb jokes like that. And
Mhm.
then it was a lot of Aaron and Levi shipping, which,
Yes.
I mean, it's still there, but it's fortunately not as big. Um,
Mhm.
so there was
Good
that. I'm
times.
trying to think what else. It was so long ago. I don't know. I remember
Oh.
I saw someone be like, the Jean horse jokes aren't funny anymore. I'm like, those are timeless. Those are timeless. They were funny back then. They're funny now.
Those are the best. They make those jokes in the show. They're still
Yes.
funny.
So funny.
Oh my god, yeah. Man, I keep seeing people and this is like, oh, this may be a PSA. Stop cosplaying Aaron and Levi ships, please. It's
No.
2025. I saw one literally today
Oh
and
my
I was like,
god.
what the hell? I was like, what the fuck? Like
The
I
triple
blocked it. I
booms.
was like, I don't want to see this.
Ugh.
Like, it's so strange. It's so fucking weird. I don't understand why that happened or yeah, I don't get it. I
I
don't
don't
know.
get it. Because I know that, like, we also didn't realize how old Levi was until later. Because I don't think that, like,
Yeah.
I think, like, when the first season was coming out and stuff, like, everyone just kind of assumed his age. And then
Mhm.
I almost said Gege Akutami, not Gege. Isayama was like
Gege when
like,
I catch
dude,
you.
like, everything is about JJK. Um, they would be
Oh
best
my
friends,
god.
by the way.
Oh,
Those 2,
yeah.
they would be best
Isayama.
friends.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if they know each other
I
because
don't know.
I know that Gege Akutami isn't it, like, their I don't know if Gege Akutami is a man or a woman. Isn't their identity, like, kind of a secret? Like, do we know who that
Yeah,
actually is?
they're, like, anonymous.
Gotcha. Maybe it is Isayama. Wouldn't that be funny?
I think that would be really good.
I don't think it
Um,
is, but wouldn't that be funny?
I like to think all the authors that, like, have you know, made me cry are all probably
Mhm.
friends together. Friends together. They're
Yeah.
probably all friends. So
Yeah. Yeah. They're just sitting in a room somewhere plotting how to make all of us specifically cry.
yes.
Um
They're like, what is the most heartbreaking thing we can write?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh. So I wanna ask you about JJK, obviously. What's that fandom experience been like? Because my experience with the JJK fandom has been interesting,
Yep.
and full of spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm
So
like, "May, piss off all of your followers. Go for it."
okay. I fucking hate this fandom. This is the worst fandom ever. No.
I'm like, "Do it. Talk your shit. Speak your
No.
truth."
I think that like genuinely I've gotten really lucky with like my following that like most of the people there are actually like very very sweet and nice, and most of them are there like for Itafushi or like for Satasugu. So like that is
As they
what they're
should
there
be.
for, and so they are
Mhm.
for the most part very sweet and lovely. But I do occasionally, especially when the like manga was really big and like the last part was coming out, and like also when the anime was coming out and everything, I did get a lot
Mhm.
of like homophobic people commenting on my stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I had like
Yeah.
a couple videos that were like so bad. I was just like, because I do get really anxious when I get like a ton of like negative comments. And so there's only been a
Yeah.
couple where I like either had to take it down or just like cannot pay attention to that video anymore. Um,
Yeah.
oh, I did have
Yeah.
something happen recently, which this is just an example of
Oh.
like these are it's just like a few interactions I have with this fandom, but I I don't know if you saw this tweet that was I feel like I don't how PG is this?
Oh, you can be as explicit as you want. It's totally
Okay,
fine.
cool. Anyway, it was like this tweet about how like Gege I don't know, it was some like mistranslation, but it's basically something to the
Mhm.
extent of like Sukuna lactates, like Sukuna is able to lactate.
Oh.
And so I posted like a silly little video of it, and like it was just super stupid audio, so it didn't really mean anything to me. And like all these people, like oh my god, like people were being genuinely mean. They're like, "You're
Oh
so
my
dumb." Like
god. Oh my god, you're like, "I didn't say it."
I was like, it was so stupid. So I just took the video down because I was like, I don't need to deal with that anymore. But like, I do have a few
Crazy.
interactions. I was like, this is about Sukuna lactating. Like, can we be real for a second? Like, oh my
That is
god.
that is so insane. No, I saw that post, like, I think, like, when you just posted it, and I think I commented on I don't remember what I commented
No,
on,
you
but,
did. You're like, is this true? And I was like, yeah.
oh, yeah. I was like I think I was just, like, in all caps, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. That author is fucking insane.
I know. I was like, it's believable from like the things that he's done. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
no, that
yeah.
video started like blowing up, and I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. Even
You're like,
like
"Mm."
people I or like other creators in the fandom, who I
Yeah.
specifically don't care for their content, don't really like them, no
Mhm.
hate, but like
Tea.
don't like them, and they were commenting on that, and I was like, I'm done. I'm taking this video down.
You're like, "I'm just gonna archive this
I
really
was like,
quick."
let me just private it. That's fine. Um, but when I first started making like, oh my god, well, I was rewatching my old skits the other day for like a YouTube video, and
Mhm.
I found like my first like JJK skit, and it was actually like my third skit I think I ever made, which I like thought I had just posted Attack on Titan until like a
Mhm.
year and a half ago or something. But it was my like one of my third skits, and I was like, I just discovered Itafushi, and I think I really like it, and I'm like, oh my god, like look where you are now, like oh my god, like I
Pull
have
him
my
out.
Itafushi on my desk.
Yeah.
Look where I am
The
now.
boys. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I love it. I love it. Yeah. No, I think when we met you were posting AOT.
Mhm.
But yeah, I gotta say I miss your Aurori content.
I know. I'm sorry. Everyone's like post AOT again, and I'm like, I think it's just because like the last like movie came out, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was like closure for
You're
me.
like,
But I
this is
did
it.
post one
Yeah.
a few months ago, I think. But I
T.
don't know. I can't remember that one.
T.
I feel like it was something
Yeah.
weird. But yeah, no, I haven't made
Absolutely.
Arui in so long. I think I need to do a
I'm so
rewatch, so maybe I'll do it then. But no promises.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes, please. Just like one.
Just one. Just
Just like
one.
one, and you don't even have to post it. You just send it to me and I'll watch it.
I texted you.
Yeah, I'll
Didn't
just be like, "Thank you."
Didn't I used to do that sometimes when I was like, I don't know if this is good, and I'd send it to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, I'm getting a sneak preview." Like
Getting a preview.
slay.
Sneak
Oh my gosh.
peek.
Do you remember when okay, so for those who don't know, which nobody knows this because only us were involved in this situation. May and I used to send each other daily fan art.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
For it was like for like a couple months. I think like
Yeah.
every day I would send you like a Rory fan art and then you would send me Satosugu
Yes.
fan art.
Yes.
And that was
Like
like the
exchange.
foundation of our friendship.
Yes. Us exchanging fan art.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, it's how friendships are born, you know?
Literally. Yeah.
You gotta share in your favorite ships.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I
I think
totally
also
forgot about
too
that because like all the
yeah,
really fan art I have saved to my phone is from you.
real
Yeah.
tea. My Aruri file, I call it my file
Your file.
because it truly is. It's large.
It's large to say the least.
It's my archive, truly. I think I've at this point, like, it's hard for me to find an Aruri fan art that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Because I've scoured the internet
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
every little morsel. Oh my gosh. And then also too, you sent me my favorite to this day Satosugu fanfic of all time.
Yes, I
Um
love that one. The way that
I
I like
love it.
knew which one you were talking about.
Yes. I was like, I know. Yeah, so for everyone watching, it's called Midnight Rendezvous. That's the name of the series.
Yeah.
And it's an AU where Gojo is a model and Geto is a tattoo artist. And it's so good.
It's
Huge
so good.
not safe
I
for
was
work
gonna
warning
say
though.
very much not safe for
Um
work, but yes, it's
yes,
amazing.
very not safe for work, but it's beautifully written.
It is beautiful. Oh my
And
god, have
it's
they
so
updated
good.
it recently?
Oh my god, they haven't. I think the last update was like maybe like 6 months ago, I wanna
Oh,
say, or something. I know. I like sometimes with fanfic authors, I'm like, "Please, I'll
please.
literally, like, do your
I will
job for
I
you."
will I will
Like
pay you for this. Like, please.
I'm like, "Please, just update it." Like, because I think they have, like, their most because it's a there's multiple works, like, in the series, and I think the most recent one, they're at chapter 3 out of 4, so there's 1 left, and I'm like,
One
"Just
left.
finish it." I'm like, "Please, like,
Ugh,
please just finish
it's getting
it."
to like it's like at us like such a good point right now. I'm like, I
I
need
know.
it.
Well, because for a while it wasn't though. For a while it was like
It's like a
on their
cliffhanger, and you're
like
like,
yeah. And I was like, "Oh my god." Like and I think right like literally when you sent it to me, I read it right before the update that like ended the cliffhanger. So I was
mm,
like, "Thank God I didn't have to
yeah.
wait too long because I would have driven myself insane."
No, I remember because like that was one that my friend had sent to me, and I don't
Mhm.
read things unless they're completed.
Real.
But then I was, reading this whole series, and I got to the last one, and then I was like, hold on, where's
You're
the
like,
next part?
"Where's the
Where's
rest?"
the end?
You're like, "Where's the rest?"
I was so
Yeah,
upset.
no, it's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, the other one that I read recently, that like literally altered the course of my life, I feel like, was it's called the Kawanda effect, and it's a Formula One AU. And whoever wrote it is like super into Formula One and like very knowledgeable about it. And so it's like you have to kind of learn the sport a little bit to like understand it, but it's so good. Like literally shout out that author. I cannot remember their name, but it's like it starts it's like a double POV one, so it's got, like, Geto and Gojo, obviously,
Yeah.
and Gojo's POV is from, like, the present day when they're adults, and then Geto's POV is from when they met when they were kids, and they started, like, driving together, and then, like, as the story progresses, like, the POVs, like, meet in the present, and kind of meet in the middle, and it's so good! And now I'm like, "Okay, maybe I will watch Formula 1," because
Yeah.
I literally was like I had to learn the terminology to understand what was going on. But it also has heavy Itafushi,
Oh,
plot lines as well, like, the
you've
subplot
sold
is
me.
there.
You've sold
It's
me.
so good. It's so good, yeah. All of, like, the best JJK ships are in it, like, Nanami and Haibara is in it too and everything, like, it's gorgeous. It's so good, and it's long, and it's done. It's complete.
That's the
Um,
best. Yeah.
thank God.
Thank God.
Absolutely, yeah. So then, I wanted to ask you about Arcane too. What's been
Oh,
the difference
shoot. I'm
um
so into Arcane. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about
Here we
Arcane.
go. Here we go. So what's been, like, the difference between, like, the AOT and JJK fandom versus the Arcane fandom? Because obviously Arcane is, like, not really anime, and I feel like it has a more widespread audience.
I think
So what's that been like?
I think it's definitely more widespread. I also think it's because you have like two canon lesbians in it. Like it's a lot less
Mhm.
homophobic.
Yes,
So
yeah,
like I don't really get people. I mean, even like I make like Mel Javik skits, and
yeah.
so it's like
Love.
I make those. I also like obviously Javik because like I love Javik. They're my favorite.
Yes,
Just
yes.
by themselves. But like I don't get people being like, why can't you guys just be friends? Like why can't you guys just be friends? It's like people encouraging it or being
Yeah.
the thing that people want me to do now is make Mel and Victor, and I'm like been thinking about it, but I
You're
don't
like,
know.
"Maybe."
Maybe. But I also like interact with the Arcane fandom very differently because like I've had my moments with the JJK fandom where it was like impacting my mental health and I was like, okay, I need to like go outside because like
Yeah, yeah,
it was also
yeah,
it was because like all my closest friends were very into JJK and like all of them it was very very important to them and so like when things would happen within the community and like all that like people would they would have things to say about it. And so I was
yeah,
like, you know what, with Arcane like I don't even like consume other people's like skits about them because I will
real,
like start like comparing
real.
myself to them or like start it'll get me in a
Mhm.
bad headspace. So like the extent that I like engage with people in that fandom is like reading fan fiction, like watching cosplayers or like
Mhm.
fan art, like stuff like that. So and like even on Twitter, like I really only talk about JJK on Twitter. It's kind of
Real.
how it's always been. Um so yeah, but it was like when I first started like being in the Arcane fandom, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so nice. It's such like a nice change of pace and everything."
Mhm.
Um but I don't know. I don't know like it's hard to like compare fandoms cuz like everything's
For
different.
sure.
And it's very like
Yeah.
adjacent to anime. Um
Mhm.
so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I feel like I love talking to you about this because, like, for me, like, I obviously cosplay first and foremost, that's, like, my shtick, and so, like, the way that people in fandom interact with, like, cosplayers versus how they interact with, like, skit makers or just, like, general content creators about anime, it's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because it's I hate to hear you say that you feel like you have to or you do compare yourself to other people sometimes because that's a huge thing in cosplay is like
Yeah.
whether cosplayers want to or not
Yeah.
people will be like, oh, this is great but so and so did it better,
Yeah.
and there was like a huge one recently with Jinx, which is what made me think of this because we were talking about Arcane. There was like a Jinx cosplayer. There were a few who went like really viral, and then it became like a whole thing where they were like, "Oh, this is good, but like this person is the best." And then people were getting into like all out like arguments in the comments about it. And I saw that and me and a bunch of my cosplay friends were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, because we all
Yeah.
know each other. You know what I
That's
mean? Like we all
the
know
thing.
each other.
That's the thing.
Like,
It's like these people that like I compare my skits to. It's like they're my friends, And it's like
Yeah.
there's someone who's like a very like bigger skit creator, and like that was
Mhm.
something like one of our conversations was like talking about like I cannot watch my friends skits because I'm like you are so much funnier than I am, or like your videos
Mm.
have been getting like way more attention than mine, so like
Yeah.
it's really hard. It's like these people are my friends. I don't want to, I don't want to feel
Mhm.
that way about them, but it's hard sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting too that it's like a this is I'm going to say it weird, but I promise it'll make sense. Like a comedy-based
Yeah,
insecurity or like a personality-based comparison because for cosplay it's very like physical appearance, you know?
yeah,
Like 9 times out of 10 it's like, oh, they look better than I do, you
yeah,
know? And there's some pretty again and I'm sure you know this, like there's some really high standards for cosplaying
yeah,
in terms of physical appearance and racism and fat phobia and all that
yeah.
fun
Which is
stuff. So
which is just insane and stupid. And also
yeah.
like I don't know, cosplay used to be like a nerdy thing, you know? Like you do it for
Hmm.
fun, and it's like kind of artistic, and like now it's like all about like looking attractive. And it's
Yeah.
like that's not the point of it, first off. And like second, like
Yeah.
there's not one body type. I don't know, because I remember the Jinx cosplayer, like they're like basically
Hmm.
saying like, oh, like this person's the only one that's been skinny enough to actually be Jinx. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
shut up.
It's like, don't say that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Don't say that. Cause also too, like, you never know what people are going through, like genuinely, like especially with a comment like that. Like, that's dangerous, you
yeah,
know? Like, don't say that shit.
yeah. I don't,
Yeah.
people are
I
weird
don't
about
know.
I feel like you probably get more of the like I don't know, you've
I've
told
been
me
around the
something.
block.
What?
I've been around the block a couple
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
well, and
sure.
I feel like people are like in your comments are like very like horny sometimes, but
Yes,
like
they are.
you've also had points where you've posted kind of horny content. Um
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we could talk about it. It was the first like year
yeah,
of me doing things. Yeah, no, I definitely for those who are
I
listening,
just spilled water all over
don't.
myself. I'm sorry.
You're so good. You're so good. I have my fresco off screen and it makes me burp like a crazy person, so I've been like dodging
You're
my
just like
mic. I'm like if you ever see me doing that on the podcast, I'm burping. Industry secret. But
secret.
but no, I definitely like for me personally, and I'll set this boundary, which I've set it from the beginning. Like I'm okay with people being thirsty in my comments as long as it's like not creepy, and also as long as you are of age and an adult, um, and not making it like super weird and then parasocial and all that,
Yeah.
because then that gets weird. And as long as there's like the respect of like this is a cosplay, this is not G as a person, this is like the character kind of thing, because then when it gets to like oh G, then I'm like okay.
You're like, "Oh,
I'm like okay, like
yeah,
go, I gotta stop you right there.
yeah."
But yeah, no, I've definitely been around the block with that. Nobody scroll back too far on my account. Please
It was
God.
good. It was good. I was there. It was good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know what I was on when I was doing some of that, genuinely. Like I think I hadn't been jaded by life as much, you know?
Yeah,
So I was just making insane shit. Um
yeah.
but yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like
So
cosplayers seem to have more the problem with like I mean, you like told me like when you like cosplayed Ghetto at the con and like people are being really
yes.
weird and they'll see you as like the character and not like a human being. Um,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
so I feel like
Yeah.
y'all definitely get that and that's not something I get. But what I do get is people treating me like I'm their friend or like
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
there was a phase where I was getting a lot of and it was because I was involved in a certain fandom, but it was
The fandom that must not be named.
No, it's like it's a fandom I was a part of for a while, and I'm like not really anymore. They're just like this fandom for some reason was very prone to this. Was like people would like DM me and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so in love with you," and like all this stuff, and I was like,
Oh
I mean,
god.
like when people comment on my things, they're like, "Oh, I have a crush on you." I'm like, that's all right. But if
Yeah.
people like DMing me like essays about like how they were like in love with me, it was just like it was too far. And
That's
so like
insane.
I don't. It's like I thankfully don't get stuff like that as much anymore. But like yeah, or people like sexualizing me in my skits where I'm me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So I
Yeah.
feel like online and like I feel like that's a very different experience that like cosplayers have and like people like me have, but it's still creepy, and it's like hard to kind
Yeah.
of
Still not fun.
yeah, it's hard to like kind of like set the boundary of like what is okay to say to me and what isn't, you know? Like
Yeah,
what is
for sure.
parasocial? Um,
Yeah.
because I think that's
Yeah.
been the
Well,
hardest thing
so,
is that like I'm very like
mhm,
I don't know, I kind of talk very casually to my followers on like my stories and stuff. Um,
mhm.
but it's been hard for me to be like, I'm still not your friend and I'm a stranger to you, so like that'd be
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so because for cosplayers, it's kind of it's a little easier, I feel like, to set that boundary just because we can be like, "It's a character."
Yeah.
Like, I am dressing up, you know what I mean? And it's a lot easier to set that boundary, but how do you do that? Because obviously you don't have that separation.
Yeah. I don't know, I just ignore people.
You're like, "I just tell them to fuck off."
There was this one time and it was like it was this TikTok and it was like, "What's your craziest hear me out?" And someone was like, "Mine's May." And I was like, "I'm your hear me out? Your hear
First of
me
all,
out." And so I blocked them because I was like, "No. You didn't even talk
as
to me
you
like that."
should. That's fucking rude.
Yes,
What?
I'm like, you could say that I'm hot, but, like, saying that I'm your hear
Oh.
me out, like,
Yeah, that's wild. That's actually
crazy.
unhinged. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, I had, oh my god, that's fucking unhinged.
I was it kind of,
I
it kind
gotta
of hurt me a little bit. I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
oh, okay."
yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I feel like people have really started to misunderstand the hear me out concept,
Maybe.
as a whole. Like, I feel like it's become more of like a what I find attractive rather than like it's supposed to be like a thing that's weird that nobody
Yeah.
else finds attractive that you find attractive, you know? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
Well, and now I feel like that's probably what they were trying to say, but I was still like, "No.
yeah, you're like,
No.
I'm good."
I'm good." Um I don't really like
Absolutely.
people like that. There was like there's been a couple who were like in my comments for like a while. And usually like if it's
Mhm.
just like one or two, then I don't really care. But it was like every single video. And so I did finally
Yeah,
block them. I think that was the same person
yeah.
that like messaged me. But like for the most
Mhm.
part, I just kind of ignore them and they go away. So
Yeah, tea, as you should. Yeah, yeah, again, you've heard my, my horror stories,
yes, I
which
have. Hmm. I have.
which we will not be talking about online,
Yeah.
but they exist, let me tell you.
People can be really I've
Yeah,
had like general very net positive interactions on the internet, but there's some of them that I'm like,
yeah,
I've thankfully
yeah.
like because people have like recognized me at cons. Someone recognized me at In and Out, the In and Out drive through. That was the first
Oh,
time someone's like just recognized me in the real world.
that's wild.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but every single person I've like interacted with like that or like at cons, they've all been like super nice and sweet, thankfully. But
yeah,
I'm like, I
that's good.
feel like if I keep going to these cons, but some point someone weird's gonna come up
You're
to me.
like yeah, I've had most of my in-person interactions have been really good actually. Well, with people who like come up to me because they know who I am. Like those have been really good. Some that are just randoms have been like really weird. Like I was telling you about with my ghetto cosplay
Yes, yeah,
cuz that shit was crazy. But maybe I'll make like a separate video about that at some point. Um
that was
but
crazy.
yeah, wild shit. But, my favorite I think low key my favorite one was there was a person who follows me, and I wish I could remember their name. But they came up to me because they love my Mega Milk Rhina cosplay. And it was and it was at Katsu last
Oh
year
my
when I was
god.
in my Mega Milk
Oh my
Rhina
god. I'm
cosplay.
so sad I missed that because we didn't go to the
Oh my
con that
gosh.
day. Ugh.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. I need to bring him again. That was
You
so much
got
fun.
it.
I had people this year asking me, they were like, "Were you that Mega Milk Rhina cosplayer last year?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yes, that
That
would be
was me.
me.
That was me. Thank you. But
That's so
but
funny.
yeah,
I
this
totally
person
forgot
came up
about
to
that.
me. Yeah, it was so fun. I love that cosplay. But yeah, the person came up to me and they had a Rhina tattoo. And so they were like, "Can I show you my Rhina tattoo?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, of course, for a second I was like, "Please don't be in like a weird place cuz like cuz
Yeah.
that's going to be like awkward as fuck." It wasn't. It was just on their arm. So like they like pulled up their sleeve and showed it to me and they were like, "Can we take a photo of you like doing the lip bite next to my tattoo?" And I was like, "Of course." So
Oh my
there's like
god.
somewhere out there, there's a photo of me with like the big like balloon titties going like next
Oh
to
my
this like
god.
person's Rhina tattoo. It was great.
Oh,
It was
that's
great.
so
I love that
great.
shit so much. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
I'm
hilarious. So, okay, I have to ask you about our boy Megami.
okay, look, if
And
you insist. Like,
and our other I want to platform you. This is me enabling you.
thank you. Thank you.
Itafushi,
Yeah.
canon or nah?
Okay, so I this is kind of like one of my like hot takes. I don't like say
Mhm.
things. I will jokingly say that like Ichifushi canon or like Satsuki
Mhm.
canon. To me,
Yeah.
something is not canon unless the author explicitly states that it is. And so
T.
I there's difference between like implied canon and like actual canon. So for me, like the only canon ship in JJK is, well, I don't want to spoil anything. There's one that is like only confirmed because
Mhm.
they have kids. Um
Okay, real T.
and like with Attack on Titan, like the only ones that are like the only one that's canon to me, completely canon
Mhm.
is uh Eren and Mikasa because they did
Yeah.
kiss and everything. But
Yeah.
I think like
Yeah.
Yumi Hisu is like very heavily implied canon. Same with Ru,
Oh,
it's
for sure.
very heavily implied canon. So like Sato Sugu is very heavily implied canon to me, and so is Itafushi because
Yeah.
I don't know, there's so many like little things that like I could like go into, but like it's just like
Mhm.
the way that like when Megami first off, when Megami describes his type, he literally just describes Yuji. And also they
Real.
have like the whole there's so many things, and I know they haven't read the manga, so I don't want to like
It's all good.
spoil
I've
it.
honestly I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, but it's
Mostly against my will, but
but
thank
it's
you,
like they're
internet.
constantly just like saving one another because it starts with Megami
Mhm.
saving Yuji, and then it like
Yeah.
Yuji saves Megami in the end. I don't want to like spoil it
Yeah.
too much, but like that's
Yeah.
their whole
I
dynamic.
know a little bit about it, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like my favorite like moment from it's in like literally the first like couple of episodes is where Megami's like, "I don't know, I just didn't want you to die."
yeah. You're
You
like,
know? I'm like
I see what you are. I know what you are.
I'm like I'm like
You're like, hmm,
Hmm.
I see you. I see.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then obviously too with like Satsugu. Those two are like so I feel like at that point I'm like, you don't have to say it, Gege. We all see it, you
No,
know?
they can see it. I feel like Sadasugu is like even more so to me just because like
Mhm.
you can like see their like relationship, you can see them break up, you can see how like everything about them just like screams like lovers who are like
Yeah.
grew apart and like but they still like care for each other but like they can't be together and like it's just very like I feel like they're even more so implied because you have the like actual like stages of relationships that are being shown whereas Itafushi it's like you see them together and then like from there on they are together in my mind.
Yeah. It's vibes. Yeah.
Vibes. Based on vibes.
Yeah. So Javik, canon or nah?
So Javik is canon.
You're like, hold on.
Javik the thing
I
is
just want my partner back. Are you
no, like
kidding?
the
Like,
last episode because like I told my friend I forced my friend to watch it with me when I was having a mental breakdown. So
As you should.
we watched
As
the
you
whole
should.
thing, and I told her because there's like moments in the first season where she was like, "That's pretty gay," and I was like, "Just
Mhm.
wait, the second season's so much worse." And then we're like
Yeah.
watching it, like when we finished the second season, she was like, "You know, you said that," and I was like, "No, this thing's not very gay." But then like that last episode, that was gay.
Mhm.
That was gay.
Yeah.
In my mind, like, and the fact that like the like voice actors ship them and like everyone involved in it ships them. There's
Yep.
something that Harry Lloyd is that his name, Victor's voice actor. He said he was like their bond is so strong that even if they're like married and had like 4 kids, it still wouldn't compare to like their bond with each other. And I was like, so they're canon.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. It was
They just put me right
insane.
back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Literally, like, I mean, obviously, like, Kate Vi, canon,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. We love
Hello.
them. We love the
But, like,
legends.
I was at the end, though, I with, like, the Javik head touch, I was like
Like that's good.
I was like, "I think we got 2 LGBT, romance scenes in
I
this
think
episode."
no, I
Um,
just I feel
'Cause
like
that was
it was
good.
so, like and again, because of my thing, like, the only one I could say is
Mhm.
canon is Kate and Vi,
Yeah,
but they are so heavily implied that it's like, I feel like you don't even need
yeah.
to say it, like, we know that they are.
Yeah,
Just yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Aruri.
Yes, yes,
If we're talking about, voice actors shipping them, both Matthew Mercer and J. Michael Tatum ship them.
yes.
And then also, I don't know, I'm hesitant to say this because then I'm gonna have to find it and prove my point, but, the sub voice actors made a not safe for work audio of
Oh my god.
and I found it, like, a couple of years ago, and I need to, like, confirm that it's real, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that it is.
that's
And I was
crazy.
like, "Damn." Yeah, I was like, "Everybody fucking ships
Everyone
Aruri."
ships
Even
them.
Isayama was like in an interview, Isayama was like, "You know, well, Levi's type is, like, tall blondes," and I was like, "Y'all."
Hey, hey.
I'm like, "Y'all, we're not gonna get any better than that."
No. I just feel like they are, like,
I love him.
the, like, dedication, like, I just feel like
Yeah, it's so good.
they're obviously, like, such a like, them and, like, Aramika are, like, kinda parallels of each other, and I feel like by
Yeah.
making Aramika, like, canon, like, they kind of just in
They
that
kinda
moment
did.
also made Rui canon because they have the same dynamic,
They do.
but also they're just
Yeah.
gay. Do you know the, like, the book picture? The 2
Yeah.
books, and that's them
Oh,
on
yeah.
bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know the book theory.
That was that that was him confirming them as canon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it was like and then there was like that pop-up in Japan or whatever where they had them, sharing a room together,
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
called, like, Erwin and Levi's bedroom, and I was like, "Y'all."
Yo, this is
They're also depicted in every single official fan art together,
yes.
you know? So I'm like, "Y'all."
Just think
Get with it.
oh my god, they make me so sad.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Ugh,
People will be like, "Gee, you love Aruri so much, but, like, it's a bad relationship." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is.
yes,
It's
but
toxic as hell. That's what makes it so
that's why
good.
it's good.
That's why it's delicious, like,
That's
because
why
it's
we love
so
it.
toxic."
Yeah.
Like, and Levi will always choose Erwin, and Erwin will never choose Levi over that damn basement.
Don't
Yeah,
talk to me.
yeah.
Um,
It's awful, but it's amazing, and I love it.
I know. It's like there's something
Bring
I
that
don't
shit
even
up.
know what it is because I mean, I love a doomed ship, but, like, something about them is just, like, so special. I think it is just because, like, they both love each other, but, like, obviously, like, Erwin has a different goal in mind, and, like, the way
Yeah.
that, like, Erwin has his dream, but, like, Levi's dream is Erwin. I'm like,
Mhm. Yeah. I
there's
mean,
something
cause like,
tragic
the
about that.
thing it's the pinnacle right person, wrong universe ship.
Yeah.
Like, the pinnacle of that, I feel like.
Wait, can I say something about Arcane that, like, kind of relates to that?
Yes, of course.
I feel like Javik is in every universe, and Echo and Jinx are in another universe, and that
Yeah.
kills me every time I think about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Fucking ow. Yeah, time bomb fucking ow. Like, oh my god.
I like, oh my god, I rewatched it the other day and I forgot that like there's like 3 episodes straight where I cry in it, like at the end.
Yeah,
And then oh my
real.
god, the last episode, like this was like my 8th rewatch I think of this show, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was full on sobbing for half an hour. And
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
I knew what was gonna happen. But
Yeah.
it's very similar
Oh
with
my
Attack on
gosh.
Titan too, though, because like even like when the like last movies were coming out and everything, I knew what happened.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I know the end.
Read the
Like
manga,
I know the
yeah,
end by
all
Phoebe
that.
Bridgers.
Mhm.
But like I knew
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna
Oh,
happen,
no.
and I still sobbed every single time.
Mhm.
And I would rewatch. Wait, how many movies were there at the end? Was it two?
I think 2. Yeah,
Two?
part 1 and
Yeah.
season 4, part 3, part
Part
1,
three,
and
part
part
one.
2.
Yes, I do remember making jokes about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still like
Yeah.
I rewatched it and I would rewatch it and cry, and I'm like, I knew what was gonna happen. What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so devastating.
Ugh,
It's devastating.
it really is.
And then I have to ask you, do you think Jinx is alive?
See, like, here's my thing: is I can't believe that characters are alive because
Mhm.
then I'll just get my hopes up for nothing. I feel like
Real.
there is a very good chance that she is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I also
I
feel
think
like
one
we
of
didn't see
my
the body.
yeah,
Didn't see the body.
it's true. It's
Never
true.
know.
If I learned anything from Game of Thrones is is if you don't see them die on screen,
Yes.
they're probably not dead.
Right.
Um, yeah, though I don't know. For me, this is probably one of my hottest like fandom takes, if you will. I kind of want her to be dead. Not because I don't like her. I loved her character. I just think it was a beautiful natural ending to her
Yeah.
story if she died. And I think I will be a little upset if they bring her back for fan service.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was it.
I
That
don't know.
was
That's my take, but I know there's people who strongly disagree with me on that. So
I just think that like the fact that like she died saving Vi and also
Mhm.
with Vander, there's something that was like so like that's her dad, you know?
That's what
And
I'm saying.
it was just
That's what
like
I'm
and also
saying.
like from uh I just feel like it was such a good like ending of her character because obviously Sue has her as Powder, and then you see
Yeah.
her as Jinx, as like Silco's Jinx and everything, and like just all this really, really terrible stuff. And then like you see her in the
Mhm.
second season, like kind of start to redeem herself and everything. And obviously she like becomes like a hero to like her people and everything.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
but but
You're like,
I feel like it was like her last. Oh my god, my sister's calling me.
you're so good.
I'll call her back.
Real.
I was like, be like, hey, so I'm actually like recording a podcast right now, and she'd
You're
be
like,
like, what
"I'm
the
on a podcast." Mm.
fuck? But I just felt like it was such a good ending to her character. Like it was like she died, like
Mhm.
redeeming herself, I guess. And I feel like if she was
Yeah.
brought back, it's also like, what would she be like? You know, like would she?
Right? Like, what's left for her at that
Yeah,
point,
I don't
you
know.
know? Yeah.
Like, what would be next
I
for
don't know.
her?
I don't know. That's also kind of why I'm like, I feel like if they bring her back, it's gonna be for like fan service for their next kind of show that they make, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, by the way, Jinx is here," you
Yeah,
know, because everyone loves her so much. Which I don't
right.
know. I'm like, y'all, let characters die. Let them let them die. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, that's it. The other thing about well, okay, it's at a lost service. Am I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I feel like all of my favorite characters die, with the exception of my favorite character. But like,
Mhm.
I feel like something about that. I think I'm attracted to those characters because like you see their full arc and their full story, whereas like
Mhm.
characters that still are alive at the end, which is it's kind of like fun to think about like, oh, what are they doing next? Like, what are they doing with their lives? But something about like having that like closure on that
Yeah.
character's life, even though it makes me
Yeah.
so sad, it's just like I don't know, I love it.
Yeah.
Like my favorite characters from Arcane are Jinx and Victor. So the last
Yeah.
episode was a little bit painful, but
You're like You're like, ow.
yeah. I was like, because like the whole see my thing was the JVIC part. What also I felt like that was where they were headed this whole time. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
their
I
destination.
agree.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
kind of crying with that. And then like when the stuff happened with Jinx, I was just like bawling. I just lose it every single time.
You're like, "Fuck."
'Cause I was like, okay, so we got like my favorite
Uh,
character, like we got his death. Okay, we're good. And then I was like, not her too.
yeah. Yeah. God,
Oh
it was so
god.
good, though. It was so well done.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Alright, so I want you to step into my confessional booth for a second.
Okay, okay.
Give me a hot take. It can be anything. Anything you want.
Okay, well, I do have my hot take I already told you about what is canon versus not canon. Um,
Mhm.
gosh, I'm like trying to think. I feel like I don't have a lot of hot takes.
Mhm.
Um, most of them are like mid takes, just like things that like piss me off. Like
Real. Real.
reposting other artists like fan art on different platform. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not
Well,
really a
that
hot
shit
take.
sucks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a hot take, but it's something we should talk about because
yes,
I feel like people don't have a lot of respect on the
yeah.
internet
I think
just in general, but also like if you see somebody's art and you repost it and you don't tag them or give them credit or you try to claim it as your own, which I've seen people do before and it's
yeah,
fucking psychotic. Don't fucking do that shit.
yeah, yeah. It gets me very heated also because like a lot of my friends are artists, but like
Mhm.
I don't know, I feel like that's the thing in fandom that makes me like the angriest. Um
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
don't really like I will like joke and say like Yuji's bi. But I
Yeah.
don't like it when people try to like assign characters to a specific sexuality. I don't know
Real.
why.
Yeah.
I did one time I posted on Twitter that I was like I said Meg Me is gay. He's gay. He only kisses boy. He only kisses boy because he only kisses one boy, Yuji.
Yeah.
And then in the
Yeah.
same tweet I called Yuji bi, and
Mhm.
people were like, "This is the only
They
time
were
I've ever
mad.
had like actual like cyberbull." I don't know. I don't know how to like describe it. It was like people like being actually like hateful to me and like roasting me online. And they're like,
Damn.
"You're being biphobic," or like Megumi's canonically pan, and I was like, "Okay, that's another thing." I guess that's my
That's a
hot take.
whole other thing, yeah, that's a whole other thing. I
Yeah,
feel like, the bi pan discussion is so it's tale as old as time.
yeah. I
We're
don't
all just
know.
queer, guys, it's fine, but,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't like that shit either, especially, not to bring up a Ruby again, but,
I
but
always
when
bring up
people
Ruri.
I know, but, this is a safe space. But when people, say, like, "Oh, Aruri," or, like, it's always Levi. It's never Erwin. I love how everyone is like, "Yeah, no, Erwin's gay."
Yeah.
But, like but it's always Levi, and they're like, "He can't be gay." And I'm like, "What do you mean by that?"
Yeah.
First of all, he's an animated character.
That yeah.
Like, touch grass. Second of all, you can't? I'm like,
Like,
that's
what do you mean
homophobia.
can't?
I'm like, "That's homophobic, actually."
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean? You know?
Yeah. Something about it just like
Yeah.
really like pisses me off. And I think also because I have my thing about like to me canon is the author explicitly states this. And so like
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
being pan thing, which like I don't at this point I don't know I don't care what he is. He's gay, he's pan, he's bi, he's whatever.
Yeah. He's
The point
Megami.
the actual point of my tweet was just like the only person he's interested in is Yuji. So it doesn't matter. Um
Yeah.
but
Real.
like it was a joke. But like they use this scene where Megumi's talking about his type and he says like my type is like any person with this certain personality and everything. And everyone people will
Yeah.
use that to say that he's canonically pan. And I'm like, do you think that Gege Akutami would say that a character is canonically pansexual?
Yeah.
I don't think that would
Probably
happen.
not.
Also,
I mean, maybe, but, like,
maybe. I mean, I guess like with
we don't
other
know who
shit he
Gig
said, like we don't know. But
we don't know who Gig is. Like, who
yeah.
knows?
But it was my other thing was like when someone asked me like my type or like about like who I'd want to date or something, I will always say a
Mhm.
person, even
Yeah.
though like I'm not gonna date a man. Um,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I guess that was my other thing. It was like, what if he's just closeted, you know? Um, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
also
That's
doesn't
true.
matter if he's like, if you think he's pan, you think he's pan. I think it just bothers me when people say he's canonically one way or another, and like with any character where they're like, no, he's bi, or he's like canonically this or whatever, or say like
Yeah.
someone's like canonically straight, and I'm like, I don't think
Yeah.
maybe I have a different definition of canonical, I guess, but I just feel like it's weird. I also just think I don't know. I think it's just weird to me because I think also because like my sexual I feel like I feel weirdly about my own sexuality where like
Mhm. Mhm.
I I don't know, where it's like I don't really know if I'm a lesbian or like if I'm pan because I
Yeah.
kind of gone back and forth with it. But it's like
Yeah.
I would
There's not
never
hard lines. Yeah.
yeah, but I would
Yeah.
never want someone to like put that label on me. That's
Mhm.
like a label I want to give to myself, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because it's personal, at the
Yeah,
end of the day. Like
yeah,
it's between you and whoever you're interested in and nobody else,
right.
like
Yeah.
so
But, I
yeah.
mean, I get it as,
Yeah.
like, fun just in the way that, like, shipping is fun and stuff. It's just it's something that, like, really bothers me.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure. For
yeah.
sure. Absolutely. Heard. Yeah, no, it I don't know. I just feel like people don't like it when other people have fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I will go around saying Aurori is canon because I'm
Yes.
delusional.
That's my thing, it's like I
And because there is like textual evidence and also
right.
Yasayama has said some stuff,
Yeah,
like there's I'm not, coming out of it from nothing, but
right.
but I also just, I like making people a little upset
Yeah,
sometimes.
I feel like that was my thing with,
Fun.
like, when JJK was really big, was that people are like, "This would never happen in canon." I was like that's the other thing that pisses me off is, like, people will comment on my skits and be like, "This would never happen." And I was like,
Did you write it?
this is literally a fan fiction in video format.
Yeah.
When did you ever think that this would actually happen? Like, what
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think people get these like ideas in their head of like how characters are and how they're supposed to be, and
Mhm.
they just kind of like think that that is how everyone has to think about it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, actually, no. You know,
No.
like people can have different opinions and different perceptions of characters. I even posted like yesterday, I posted a video saying like, what's, give me your hottest Attack on Titan takes. Oh, first of all, they've been insane. Second of all, people are really delivering. But it's so interesting to see like how different people perceive stories and how they look at characters
Yeah.
differently. And I don't know, I wish people were more chill about it and were more willing to have like good faith discussions about it from like a media enjoyment standpoint rather than saying like staking their like personal identity and feelings about it,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like it can just be fun, like,
right. I feel like I know,
yeah,
like, so many like, there's, like, kinda what I was saying earlier about that creator that I didn't really like that commented on my thing. Um,
yeah,
so many people who, like, make their opinions, like, if you don't have the same opinion as them, then you're wrong and you're stupid and, like, all this stuff. And it's like,
yeah,
I think that we were all born with different personalities and have different life experiences, like, that
yeah,
no one like, we're not gonna see eye to eye on everything, and I feel like
yeah.
I've known so many people, even, like, my friends who I love and care about, like, they will get take things really, really personally when it's like I think that we forget that this is a fictional character, and, like, just because this character is important to you doesn't mean it has to be important to everyone else. Or,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just because
Yeah.
you love this ship and, like, this ship is, like, your favorite ship and, you're so into it, you have to accept that, like, not everyone's gonna be into that. Like, everyone should be
Exactly.
into
Yeah.
Ifushi, but, like, it's not gonna happen.
Me with Rory, I'm like, everybody should ship it, but it's fine if you don't, I
If you
guess.
hate Megumi, you will die and go to hell, but, like, that's your opinion.
But don't even worry about it. Yeah. It's just it's just vibes. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I even had somebody, oh my gosh, I actually should talk about this because I back when I filmed with Ryan, who was
Mm,
on a couple weeks ago, um that he hit me with the Levi Han ship, which I was like, Ryan, I was like, I was like, we are not in the same wheelhouse on this, but that's okay
No.
because I love you and you're my friend and it's just fun. You know, it's just for fun. It's not that serious. But I posted the clip of us talking about it on TikTok, and somebody like unironically was like, you shouldn't be afraid to have this opinion. Like, it's so messed up that this person made you feel like you were afraid to like share your thought. And I was like, whoa. I was like, first of all, me and Ryan are friends.
Yeah,
Second of all, um, watch the rest of the episode. We had a really good discussion about it. You know
right.
what I mean? Like it that was clipped out of context to make you watch the episode. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like that's how promo works, guys.
right. It's
But
clickbaiting.
I don't know. Yeah, but I was like, I mean, whatever works, but like advertising, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just so like, I think I deleted their comment because I was
Mhm.
like, I'm not tolerant. I was like, no, like
No.
it's not that serious. And also, this is like my friend. Like we're just shooting the shit. Like
Yeah.
bold of you to assume, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
People are
yeah,
so weird about it. I don't know. It's like also, oh my god, I've been having this experience with the Arcane fandom recently, where there's been a
yeah.
lot of like out of pocket ships recently, and
Mm.
some of them have very significant age gaps, um,
Ooh,
and not a fan. Just gonna
yeah,
say not a fan, but I don't really like. I don't really care what people ship. It's like if it's
yeah,
not a child and an adult, if it's not,
yeah.
if it's not like an illegal ship, I guess, then I'm like, okay, you can do what you want, I guess. But
Hmm.
age gaps do
Yeah,
get like a little weird for me. But
they get a little sus for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, so there's
yeah.
been a couple of those out there. And if you ship them, I sorry. This is just my opinion. We can disagree on this.
Spit.
Like like people like they'll have the fan art and then like people will be like, this is kind of weird because it's a big age gap. And then people get
Yeah,
so defensive. They're like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal. Like all that like get really defensive about it. And I'm like, so I think that we are talking about fictional characters and like
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
not that serious either way. It's not like your child like drawing like, porn of them
yeah,
or like,
for sure, for sure. I also sometimes with those, especially when it's like a more like, you know, like a legal ship, if you will, when people get defensive of it, I'm like, why are you being so defensive?
yeah, yeah, also why?
I'm like, the call might be coming from inside the house a
Yeah,
little bit. Like you might be feeling a little bit of guilt about it.
right. Yeah.
You know, so keep it to yourself kind of thing.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't know, it's just like
I don't know.
it's a very weird thing where it's like, I don't care what people ship. If it's like if it's something that's like kind of sus to me, but like,
Yeah,
it's not like I'm gonna make a whole big like stink about it.
for sure,
Um,
for sure, for
but
sure.
it's like you can't like why are you like the people can find that weird. Like that's
And it's
totally
okay. It's
valid.
okay for everyone to have different
It's
opinions. Like
okay.
it's fine.
Yeah, that's how like I made my like this like ranking JJK ships video, and I was like the whole time I was like, we can have different opinions. You can have your opinions about the ship. I have my opinions about the ship. We can
Yeah.
disagree. That's fine. And like I just feel like people get like
Mhm.
too offended over like ships. It's like fictional
Yeah,
characters, and I do get like
for
some
sure.
artists were upset because it was like obviously they spent time on this art and great art, but like I feel like it's fair for people to find it a little bit weird. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like a very.
Absolutely.
There's also a lot of gray areas in fandom, and so I try to stay out of all that because I'm like I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to watch. I just want to see my boys kiss that I want to see, and I want to see my girls kiss that I want to see, and like
Exactly. Yeah.
everything else
I
is
feel like you
none of
can't
my
go wrong with
business.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, just boys and their kissing, you know,
yeah.
it's fine.
That's cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and then lastly, you mentioned to me that your favorite anime is Attack on Titan and Fruits Basket. So I wanted to ask you a couple of trivia
Okay.
questions.
Okay. I'm so
So,
nervous about this, but this is fine. This is fine.
it's okay. It's okay. It's they're not that bad.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
What body parts did Levi threaten to break if Erwin went
His
on the
legs.
mission to reclaim Almaria? Both of them, yes.
I
You're
knew
like, don't worry
that
about it.
one.
You're like, I knew that
I
one.
know that one.
Real. So what was Levi's mom's name?
Oh no! No, I wrote this. I have this. I have this.
We got that other OVA coming out soon, hopefully about it.
Oh my god. Oh, like it's like on the tip of my tongue.
Do you want a hint?
Yes.
It starts with a K.
No, it's not Karina. It's what is it?
It's Kuchel Ackerman. Kuchel?
Oh yes, I think
Kuchel?
yeah, Kuchel.
I've never
Yeah.
said it out loud before.
I think that I was like, it's KU something, and then I was like, I don't think I
Mhm.
ever was able to pronounce that name. So
Yeah, I think it's Kuchel. If y'all, if that is a name that has an actual pronunciation and I just did it wrong, I'm so sorry. I've literally never said it out loud until just now.
it's your first time pronouncing it.
It's never been relevant until literally right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this is a fruits basket one.
Ooh, okay.
It's a finish the quote. And I admittedly looked up most popular fruits baskets quotes for this because I couldn't remember
Love
any.
it.
So it's my happiness comes from
I have no idea. Wait, who says it?
it's Toru. It's like apparently Toru's like famous quote, allegedly.
Oh, I don't know.
It's my happiness comes from the kindness of those around me.
Aw, that sounds like a Tori thing to
Um,
say.
yeah, she's so baby
She
girl. I love
is. I
her.
love her
Oh,
so
that
much.
show made me weep.
Yeah, it's so many. When you get to Momiji's episode, I'm like,
Oh,
cut it.
yeah. Oh, okay. I for like 2 seconds I have to talk about this. As an adopted kid, that shit
I bet.
hurt my fucking
I bet.
feelings, bro. That shit hurt my goddamn feelings.
Yep.
People need to stop. I cannot like again as an adopted kid, I struggle so much in media with like rough parent child relationships in media. Like they hurt me so bad, like
Yeah.
personally. So that was definitely fun for me.
I love that for you. I'm so
Mhm,
sorry.
it's so great. Yeah. So then what trinket was keeping Kyo from transforming into
It's his
his true
bracelet.
zodiac
It's his
form?
bracelet. I actually
Yeah.
have this bracelet somewhere.
Oh, I love that. I love Kyo.
It's not
Oh.
made out of blood and bone like his is,
Mm.
but
A fake fan,
yeah,
May.
it is made out of plastic, but you know.
What? You didn't want to have the human remains
Yeah,
bracelet?
gosh. That was when they like revealed that, I was like, okay.
Like, all right, work, I guess.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Okay, so then this is the hardest one. This is the
Ooh,
last one.
okay, I'm ready.
Can you name all of the members of the current zodiac and their animals?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there are we including Kyo because he's not technically part.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
of course of course
Okay.
we are.
Yeah.
We're including him. Yeah.
Okay. So we got Kyo's the. I almost said the rat. Oh my god, the cat. Then we have.
Could you imagine? He's rolling around in his anime box right now.
It's like, oh my god. Okay, and then there's Yuki, who's the rat. Shikune's the dog. I think his name's Ayome is the snake.
Mhm.
Oh, is it Kagura?
Mhm.
Kagura's the boar. Momiji's the
Mhm.
rabbit.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, I forget the little kids' names. Okay, wait, we're gonna go to Hatori is the the seahorse or the dragon. Um
Yeah. I love that they were like, it's a seahorse dragon.
yes. Um oh, I think the other ones I might not be able to name them, but
Real.
oh, who is the monkey? Oh my god, I can picture all of them, but like I don't remember their names. Wait,
Real.
is his name is Hiro the little boy that was the
Yes. Yeah.
what was he?
You got this. I
I got
believe in you
this.
so hard right now.
I got this.
You're doing so well.
I'm like I can't remember his animal, but I remember the girl because she was the tiger.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, what was he? And I remember the bird guy because he was creepy because he
Mhm.
got with the child, and then obviously Akito's the
Yeah.
god. Um,
Yeah.
uh, I feel like I'm not able for the rest of them.
You're so good. So
Big
Hiro is the
fan.
sheep.
He's a sheep. Yes, that's what it
Kisa,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kisa's the tiger, Ritsu is the monkey,
Yeah.
Kurano's the
Oh my
rooster, which
god, the
you
the
got that. You got that.
the horse is I forgot her name, but
Our goth queen.
there's the horse, the goth queen. And then
Isuzu.
Haru, our
Yeah.
bisexual cow.
Yes, socks.
Yeah. Okay. I can't name the
That's
rest
all
of
of
them.
them. Yeah, that's it.
No. No, the monkey's name. Who's the monkey? What's her name?
Oh, Ritsu.
Mitsu.
Ritsu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We stan.
Yes.
We
Okay.
stan.
Yeah.
Our trans femme
Our
queen.
trans queen.
We stan. I love how they play with gender in that show so much.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me.
I just, like they were very progressive in some ways. I just wish we didn't have constant child adult ships. Because like
yeah.
so Toru's mom was in middle school and her dad was like a TA.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Strange.
Weird. It's weird for sure. Yeah. And then also Chigure's constant like shenanigans.
See, like he is so toxic and so gross, but he's still so hot. And I also can't sometimes I can't watch the sub because I get so distracted because he's Gojo, he's Gojo's voice actor, and I'm like,
you're like, I can't do this actually.
I can't.
Oh my god, yeah. All right, well, you did great. Thank you so much again for your time. And do you have any closing thoughts for our dear listeners?
I don't know. Itafushi's canon. Megami is the best character in anything ever, and if you love him, you will die and go to hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much once again, and thank you to our audience for listening and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find me at Underwater Eyeballs on all platforms, and May, tell the people where they can find you.
Okay, so I'm at Snailboii, spelled BOII, on TikTok. I am at Snailboii BOII _ and Twitter and Instagram, and I am Snail BOIII on YouTube.
Yeah, the triple I got him.
YouTube's got the triple I.
Absolutely. Well, everybody go follow May. I can attest they're one of the coolest and kindest people that I know. So yeah, I love you very much, and I will be back with another episode of the Out of the Water podcast very soon. Thank you so much.
Yay.